Okay, according to the clock, 6 o'clock, time to call the meeting to order at Town Kitchen Mountain. I want to welcome everyone here. And Cheryl, would you lead us in the invocation, please?
Let's pray. Dear Lord, I want to come to you tonight, Lord, and thank you for the blessings of our day, Lord. And please be with us tonight as we make decisions for the people of Cajah Mountain, Lord. Be with Councilman Jeff Bullock and help him to feel well. And just watch over us and keep us safe. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Y'all, please stand. Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, I have my hand over my heart now. You reminded me. Got my volume down just in case. Okay. So I trust everyone's had an opportunity to look over the agenda, but previously I understood there was something needed to be added. So other than that addition, I think Alan was going to add it. Are there any other additions or adjustments need to be made to it?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I suggest we add item 3 under new business, which will be training for the town manager, and we'll let Logan talk more about that when we get that.
This is on QuickBooks, correct?
Correct. So the class is a 2-day class, and it's for $549.95.
We'll get to that when we get to the...
Do we want to talk about it later or now?
Yeah, we'll add that as item number 3 under new business.
Right.
Okay. So with that addition,
I think I mentioned to you the other day we were talking about the lot area at the stoplight. We've got a little bit of interest in restaurant. I'd be interested in going into that.
Logan might speak to that. I talked to him earlier this morning about that.
Okay.
So with that being said, are there any other adjustments or additions need to be made at this time?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, and it is approved. Also, if everyone's had an opportunity to look over the minutes, there again, are there any adjustments or additions need to be made to that?
I move they be approved as written.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
A second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We've got Mr. Jason Robbins on here, but I think we've got Mr. Barry Hensley instead. So, Barry, would you like to speak to us about the monthly update?
Well, I was first say, Jason texted me as I was pulling in and said he would not be here. He did not, and I said, send me your notes that you were going to cover. So far I do not have the notes. 1,300 calls in 2015. 1,290 calls is what we ran in 2015. And we run our training from January the 1st through December the 31st of each year. State requires each one of our members have 36 hours of training. We at North Cajah, our minimum expectation is 60 hours of training per member, and most of our members exceeded over 100 hours of training because we try to go above and beyond because of the amount of tasks that we do there. But December, I mean, medical calls was the majority of the calls that we ran. You know, with the cold weather coming on, I'm sure the possibility or the threat of structure fires in residents is going to be big for us right now. Because of people probably having some issues with financial matters, it's going to create creative ways of keeping their house warm. And, you know, it always turns to wood stoves being used that's not been inspected, and ovens and things being used to try to heat homes. So it is a bad time of the year, especially with the cold weather for us. So, you know, hopefully things will be good in the community and people's not going to have to look for ways to heat their homes. It's going to create danger.
Who inspects, somebody calls and can you come look at my chimney? Who would do that? Y'all do that or county or?
They would have to hire a private contractor to come out and do that because it's not offered in the county for, you know, a free inspection in a chimney or anything.
Be a big liability probably, but.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Barry, Jason last month told us that there were plans afoot to develop another station in this area. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
The only thing at this time, actually, being honest about it, is we did purchase land down on Dry Ponds Road. And we purchased a piece of property that was offered to the county years ago to put an EMS base on, that the county turned down. We have, for several years, looked at property down that way just because of the development of the river and stuff and trying to be proactive. And we did acquire, I think it's close to 5 acres down there. It's on Dry Ponds Road. Now, does that mean we're gonna go down there and start building a station tomorrow, 2016? More than likely, I'm gonna say not. Because it's all gonna depend on what takes place as far as those developments down there. Now, we felt that there was a need to go ahead and purchase that property and be ready for future growth. Just not ready to start putting a station there yet. And when you look at ISO ratings, ISO tells us that we need more departments or more stations for North Cajah to keep the insurance ratings low. And there's other areas that we've looked at that we feel like that, you know, there's a possibility that we need to try to look at land and try to purchase land. And there's a couple other areas that we looked at in the past and had some options on that just didn't pan out. But we're always looking at what we can do to continue to develop the department, the community to fit the needs. And, you know, if it would come to pass, they would start that housing development down there, then yes, there would be a need for it, because they're telling us 200+ houses off of Liberty Road, and then the development they're wanting to build there, I don't know what you call it, right there across from the old wildlife access. If they would develop all that, yes, we would need that station down there. And so the opportunity we had, the price we had to buy that land, we had to go ahead and make a decision to purchase it now before we lost out on that opportunity.
Good call, I think.
Yeah.
Where is your land?
If you turn down Premier Road, do you know where James Green lives down there on the left-hand side?
I know what Premier it is.
Yeah, if you turn down, right after you pass the boat dealership, the first house that's on the left down there, our land connects with them. And we come back up, I'm not great with numbers, I wanna say it's 180 road feet frontage that we have.
They get right there to the stoplight.
So there's an empty lot that'll be between us and the boat dealership that they held on to for, Crescent did for whatever reason. I do know that when you speak with Crescent, kind of off the record, a lot of that land, Crescent is actually advertising that land in places like China right now. So, because they came in and done a lot of aerial photographs and stuff, and they do have it advertised as far away as China trying to sell that land off. So, it'd be interesting to see what takes place.
Thanks.
Barry, if you don't mind, after the meeting, stick around this meeting, I got something I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so thank you for the information and most of all for the fire department service. They're a real asset to this community and the best fire department in the state.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda, there is no unfinished business nor public hearings, but we do have under new business auditing contract with Boggs, Crump and Brown. Do we have information on that?
Yeah, so Ronnie Crump brought by the auditing contract last week. I have it here. The total for the year is going to be $7,325, and that's up $100 from last year. If you want to approve it, to sign it.
What was that amount?
$7,325. Last year was $72.25.
Any comments or questions on the contract?
I move that the auditing contract with Boggs, Crump and Brown be approved in the amount of $73.25.
Okay, we have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Uh,
Okay, and they've always done us a good job. So, next thing on the agenda is, we talked about it for months, is the retreat date. And so, we mentioned in the earlier meeting, we was probably going to make a decision on it at this meeting. So, if we come to any decision as to what date to make this, in what hours.
Well, let me just say that I think before we go too much further into our new calendar year, we ought to take the time to set some clear directions, both near-term and long-term. And so I'd suggest that we collectively, even though Jeff is not here, we collectively look at our calendars this evening and pick a date. The retreat would be probably, it could either be in an evening or it could be on a Saturday morning. It would probably take about 4 hours. Typically it was a 4-hour thing. So I'm leaning toward a Saturday.
Okay. And you have a particular date in mind. Jeff, by the way, told me he knew this was coming up, and he says, whatever we decided, he'd make it work. I've got nothing on any Saturdays.
No, I don't have
That's
anything on
it.
any
Are we looking at Saturdays in January?
The 16th or the 23rd are okay for me.
That would be fine with me. Like I said, Jeff said, Lord, do you have any objections with either one of those dates?
No, I don't think
Uh,
What would be the time?
It started at 8 and would end at noon.
8 to 9. Okay.
And it would be here.
Yeah, I think it would be more than fine to have it here instead of acquiring another place. So, do you want got any preference of the 16th or 23rd, either one of them being from 8 till 12 on Saturday?
But if we go ahead and put down the 16th and use 23rd as a contingent date,
Okay, so the 16th, unless we get snowed out, and 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, the 16th. So with that date being mentioned, I hear a motion that this date be approved.
so moved.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Okay, now we're got into the QuickBooks portion. We've been talking for a while, bringing our finances back in-house. Just to, Logan's going to add more to it, but we're paying $480 a month right now. The training is $549. So with that being said, we're about going to get all our money back in 1 month with this. So, Logan, you want to talk some more about this?
Right, yeah, and so we paid $460 this month.
Okay.
But yeah, $460 a month. This is $549. It's gonna be in Charlotte on January 27th and 28th, which is a Wednesday and Thursday. Would you like to know what they cover? What all is covered in the classes?
Is it gonna be covered enough to where you can,
It's gonna
Do
cover
this.
everything that I need plus more.
when would you be able to start doing that?
Well, and that's a good question. So if it's the 27th and 28th, would you want to have me start billing ours in February or March?
I think we had to give them 30 days notice.
Right, so would you want to go ahead and do it in
Well, you probably wanna wait, Logan, and make sure that,
That would
How
give
to
you a
get
month
used
to
to it a
play
little
with
bit.
it.
And
March?
so, you know, if you took a training, you feel comfortable, I think the 1st of February would be a good date to start with notice and then start bringing everything in March.
I'm comfortable.
You comfortable with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, Lloyd mentioned you may want to stay down there. You know, it's up to you to drive. You either get mileage or you get you know, accommodation credits.
Oh, yeah.
So you can decide, and before we take a motion, we'll all understand that that's going to be a part of that. Okay?
I think that's a wise investment.
I do too. I know Councilman Edmonds kind of didn't want us to do it, but there's no other municipality doing it, so why should, you know, now we got everything straightened out and dependable. I think it'd be a good move. So with that being said, training on the 27th, you said?
And the 28th,
The 27th and 28th.
goes from 8 to 4 with a lunch.
With accommodations and gas mileage. Anyone want to make a motion that we approve that?
I'll make a motion that we approve the money for class and the money for lodging and travel expenses.
Right.
We do meals too.
I'm sure we do. Yeah. So with that being said, with a motion, do I hear a second?
I'll second the motion, but I would like to amend the motion to cap the expenditure at $700. Now, it may run a little more than that, but for the purposes of the council's commitment of funds, I think there should be a target figure.
No, you're probably right. You're talking about the $549 being inclusive in that.
Yes,
correct?
and mileage and lodging.
Okay. So,
It's not gonna leave but $150, though.
well, for 2 days, he ought to be good. Is that amendment okay with you, Lloyd?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second with the amendment that we have capped it at $700. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Okay, anyone against? Okay, it is approved. There's no committee appointments or reports, but I do believe Logan is going to address us on the planning board voluntary annexations.
Right, so we met on December 12th, at 6, and the 14 properties that we had talked about at our meeting on the 1st, all based on the properties around in their neighborhoods, we voted to zone them as R20. Now, what I didn't do is put them on for a public hearing tonight for us to vote on, because we need those to be in the paper, advertised for a public hearing for at least 25 days. So I'm going to put those in after tonight, tomorrow morning, and we will vote on them in February. But they're all R20, all 14.
Are there any other properties that need to be talked about with the planning board as far as annexation?
So in February, when we have a public hearing on the first 14, we're going to talk about the other 6 to 8 that have applied, and then take them before the planning board in March. So that's the plan. The planning board, and something else that might be of interest, is meeting quarterly instead of monthly. I believe they used to meet monthly, but for the amount of stuff that's going on planning, we all felt that quarterly would work now, but we could call a meeting every month if needed. But just plan on quarterly.
Okay. And I mentioned to you some things we need to do for the next meeting. So we'll go ahead with that in mind. So are there any other questions concerning the annexation? If not, we're in the public comment period. Barry, do you have anything?
No, sir.
No, sir. Lloyd, do you have anything?
So you mentioned Logan, about what we're talking about, the property out here at the intersection of Pleasant Hill Road, Connelly Springs Road. We got a person interested in possibly putting a restaurant in there. If you could, Ronnie May already told you, if you could put together a package, maybe contact the owner. And and see, what kind of deal they can come up for us. And, see if there's any tax incentives, you know, maybe through the county or whatever you do on that. Something to draw them in a little bit. What kind of restrictions and zoning and all that stuff have to be gone through. You can just maybe put it together on a packet where I can take it to them, or if it comes down with us or whatever. But I understand they're very interested in it, it's just depending on what, you know, if the property will suit them. I'm not even sure how much property is there, if it's just a level part or.
I'll contact the owner of the property and the restaurant, the owner of the restaurant.
Do you have a number for them?
Yes.
Okay. Would you have anything else? Keep our fingers crossed on that. Do you have anything?
I just would like to, while Barry's here, is for my own sake, and I'm sure everyone here who was invited to your Christmas party really appreciated that. It's just amazing how much you folks do for this community. And I'm always amazed at how many people are involved. When you get them all up in the front of the room, there's nobody left sitting, except us few. But anyway, thank you very much on my behalf, and I'm sure I speak for everyone here.
Thank you.
That's all I have, sir.
Sure.
And I will say, I appreciate the invitation too. I had a family commitment, couldn't come, but we appreciate you and the invitation also.
I wish you had a Christmas party every weekend. It's awful good. So,
And I think Ralph and Fred would cook every weekend if we had.
but anyway, the only thing I got is I just want to tell you folks, fellow council members and Ludden, what a pleasure it is serving with you. I think we're going into a year that quite possibly it's not going to be a roller coaster ride like it's been the past several years, and I'm looking forward to it. And this retreat, I'm looking for good things out of it. And you know, as I said, I appreciate each and every one of you. We've mentioned it before, but it's true. We're family, just like your family, the fire department, we're family here. And I really appreciate and love every one of us. So, with that being said, Logan, when's our next council meeting?
The next one's going to be on Tuesday, February 2nd at 6 p.m.
Okay.
2016. Sorry,
2016. Okay. So with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, we are adjourned. We'll see you in just a second.
All right.